Hello, Assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And as always, as soon as I finish doing one podcast, then something comes up and I have to do another podcast. That's how it happens. What actually happened was that we just received news of a horrible accident that just took place. It's a tragedy basically because a car fell into the canal on the canal road near us, and as a result of that, it claimed 3 lives. So basically, nobody survived. And as a result, the whole road is blocked. And it is claimed that the car fell due to overspeeding. Although, how can anybody speed in the canal, especially at this time? This is rush hour. I don't know. Because thanks to Nawaz Sharif and his very, very bad so called urban planning, in which he cut down the trees that I've already talked a million times about, he basically, this road was the coolest temperature wise and the calmest traffic wise, and it was the most beautiful, most scenic road ever. And he transformed it into this hot mess, where now, even if you don't want to, even if you don't have to, but everybody wants to now take the canal because somehow or the other they want to leave their destination using the canal road. And that is also a result of his bad planning, where there were many routes that reached destinations straight from point A to point B at a very short distance at a short time. And he sort of screwed those routes up. He closed some of those routes. He turned some of them into those circular roads, which took you halfway through the whole city before you found out where you were. He created a lot of confusion. All those very well made roads. The whole well planned road network was destroyed by him just to pocket money, just for his greed. And he basically just destroyed the whole of Lahore, to be very honest. I used to like driving in Lahore, but I don't get out, and I hate driving, and I hate the traffic, and I hate the roads, because as I said, where you could reach from point A to point B in a matter of 15-20 minutes, he just ruined the whole roadmap, and he changed everything, and he closed down many of those roads, and he led us into a wild goose chase, as if we are right now here drilling petroleum. That just shows you the effects, or the impact, or the power, you can say, of the petroleum mafia, right? The things that the American government and the Pakistani government and all the other petrol mafias could do, just just to make sure that petroleum is used. And that is why, as I told you before, that they closed down all the outlets and the wells that previous former President Musharraf had opened up, in order to to help people get away from petrol, and to use green cars, environmentally green cars, by using natural gas, CNG. And this government, when the first thing that they came was to close all of that up and to force us back into petroleum. And then, he creates these long circular roads, cutting off the extremely simple shortcut roads, So now, basically, what I'm trying to say is the canal road has become a hotbed of mess. It is the worst road ever now, with a lot of traffic jam. This is the road that never saw traffic jam, but now, thanks to these a-holes, there's always a traffic jam. So, again, beg to ask the question here: how could the car have fallen into the canal due to overspeeding at this time? This time, right now, it is 1:19 p.m., and the news that just came basically came about half an hour ago, right? This is traffic time, okay? This is rush time. This is rush hour. I don't get it. So, but anyway, here we are. Oh, sorry. I mean, 2 hours ago. My mind is completely out. Not half an hour ago, 2 hours ago. So yeah, they got out the vehicle, which is completely smashed up, to be honest, if you look at the pictures. And obviously, there were people actually who managed to take I think short videos or something. But basically, the car was heading from Tokarniazbek. It was heading towards Tokarniazbek from PCSIR Society. So all the deceased were between 18 and 25 years old. I guess that's why they ultimately concluded that this is overspeeding. Because let's be honest, these young boys nowadays, I mean, they always were the worst drivers ever, but I don't know. I don't know. I cannot comment on anything really, except that what I know, what is in the news, and that is that the rescue team came, they retrieved the bodies from the canal, they shifted them to Jinnah Hospital. But why is the road still blocked? I don't know, because usually they're in these cases they're pretty efficient when the stuff is all done and all that the traffic gets back to normal within less than an hour. So 2 hours into this thing, everything is already done and dusted in the sense that they've taken care of the car, they've taken care of the deceased, so traffic should resume, but apparently according to them it's still blocked. There you are. But I mean, it brings us back to um, it kind of reminded me of last month, really. I guess you'll call it, or is it 2 months ago? It was on the March, or on the 14th of March, um, when a Lahore citizen was attacked by foreign guests, security guards. Yeah, and I called them terrorists, and I'm glad to see that the deputy inspector general also basically charged them under terrorism, because this is terrorism. This is actually what is terrorism, when you suddenly come out of the blue, and just because you are whiffing off a foreign guest of the government, then you have to now attack this. This was I was like, what I felt like, if this doesn't prove what I've been talking about for so long as to how your illegal government and your illegal army chief, they have been put into the position to push you back into slavery. I mean, I don't know what does. This proves my point. You see, these people are basically here to sell you out, and they have kind of sold you out. I mean, the fact that you have to now learn American history in for your civil servants exam, since when? Why? I know the old syllabus, we never had it. Why is it there? So you're basically trying to say that, so basically, as I said, secretly you have made us a colony of America, right? And that is why I said right from day one, when they all started this whole process, remember I said that, what, if you really want us to be a colony of America, then pay us in US dollars too. Let's get the perks of being a part of America then. Why are we, like, sitting here like this, not even getting the perks of being part of America? We don't have American passports, we don't have American citizenship, we don't have any easy movement into America, but we have to learn American history in order to pass your civil service exam. And you have sold us out to America, in that it thinks that it owns us, it owns our land, and it takes all the decisions of our country. So we're no longer a sovereign state as it is. So, and this proves it. The fact that you have foreigners who come to Pakistan, and then they pay the government officials to allow them to hunt our national animal that is actually in the no hunting zone. I mean, basically, the animal is supposed to be extinct and rare, and because it's our national animal, the markhor, and you're not allowed to hunt them. It's illegal to hunt them. And yet you take money from your foreign guests, be they Middle Eastern, be they American, and then you allow them to hunt. But if one of your own people would even accidentally kill the animal, you're going to kill that person down. You're seriously going to gun that person down, and you're going to slap all sorts of charges on that person and make his life hell. But it's okay if an American comes and pays you and asks you, because he wants to stroke his ego, that, look, I paid the Pakistani government or the Pakistani ministry to allow me to kill their national animal. Wow, dick measuring here by the American here, dick measuring, and by the Middle Eastern princes and all as well. Dick measuring here, you a-holes. What are you? I mean, seriously, this is the height of insult, and we people have Even then we made a lot of noise. Even here, then, as I said, this March 14th is a very good example again of, you're taking us back into British Raj times, basically, except that now it's America. What is it? So foreign guests are allowed to wreak havoc on the roads and act as if they are what are you supposed to be? You're foreign guests? Are you really our guests, or are you supposed to be our owners and we're your slaves? You're our masters. All of a sudden you're coming, you're speeding down the canal road, and then because there's traffic and you're not getting your way, you decide to come and attack a civilian. You decide to send that your security guards, your private security guards, they decide that it's okay for them to come out. No security guard has ever dared do this in our country, by the way, no matter how many guns and rifles they hold. This is an incident on its own that shows you that when your government, which is illegal, is acting as if it is the king of the land, and then their foreign guests who are proving that they are actually above your government. They're not guests, but they're probably the actual owner of all of you and your country, where they come and they have their private security guards who open fire at a civilian's car for not giving way. And kudos to that civilian, by the way, and he's a trader by profession, and kudos to him that he decided to fight them, because they blasted his radiator, they shot his car, they blasted his radiator, and he came out, and they literally physically assaulted him as well when he came out. They physically assaulted him when they were trying to run away, they were trying to escape, and he blocked them with his car. And then, and the fact that the people, this is why I keep on blaming our people. This is why I always say we deserve whatever it is that's happening to us as a nation, because all of a sudden now people, this is also proof of what I've always said regarding mob mentality. In Pakistan there is no mob mentality, I'm sorry to say, and I am sorry to say, because mob mentality would dictate that people would then come out, they would rush to help this man, and they would attack the security guards, they would attack the foreigners and their cars, and then they would call the police, and then they would raise hell, and they would literally just smack the bejesus out of everybody involved, right? This is mob mentality. This is lynching, but which I'm telling you, our people don't have that mentality. So all those so-called alleged lynching and mob incidents that you have ever heard in the news, you should realize by now that they were always contrived. And they were very obviously contrived. Anyway, whenever they happened, I always mentioned the fact that notice how a certain political party would be behind it, how a certain minister is behind it, notice how a certain government body or organization is behind it. These are always contrived, because I'm sorry to say, but our people have no concept of lynching or mob mentality. They do not. Okay, so every single time you see or hear of an incident of a mob or a lynching, understand that it is 100% orchestrated. It always is in Pakistan. In Pakistan, these incidents do not occur naturally. These incidents are always 100% orchestrated, right? And so, case in point again here, this would have been an ideal situation for a mob mentality. But no, people, although many people are in a rush and they're pissed off and they just want to leave, because there's a whole video of the whole incident with somebody captured live when it happened. And the people were pissed off because it was rush hour, everybody wanted to pass. And then there were people who, obviously, because our nation, our people are naturally curious in the sense that they always love, for them everything is a show, everything is a spectacle, everything is a drama, and they have to stop and see. Yes, seriously, believe it. So to them, a drama was unfolding and they were all just slowing down. So they had time to slow down and watch it all unfold. But not a single one of them decided to come out and help him. And I'm just saying that good on him that he did it on his own, because seriously, if it was somebody else who would have been so helpless, who wouldn't have been able to take care of the situation, but this, kudos to the man, that he actually got out, he physically faced them. He got assaulted by the guards before they attempted to flee, but he actually showed courage, and he stopped one of the attackers, although he was struck by them with a rifle butt, And I even, in fact, in the video that I saw, they actually grabbed him by the hair too, you know. So I mean, imagine that they literally stopped his car, okay, below the bridge. This bridge is now renamed Beijing Underpass for some weird ass reason. That was not the original name. So this is one of the things that this illegal government likes to do. They like to take other people's projects that have already been done for a long time, and then they just slap, a cement on the wall, or they break something on the side, and then they remake it, and then they get a lot of money, and then they change the name of the project to show that, oh, we did this project, you didn't do jack shit. All the underpasses in Lahore, this whole the amazing road and network of Lahore was done by the Chaudhries. Okay, when it was their governance in Punjab, the road mapping of Lahore is basically thanks to them, where they kept it in harmony, and they never caused any distress when they made these new underpasses years and years ago. And there you have it. So I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that I got interrupted. I'm sorry. I have to restart the whole thing now. I have to restart my train of thought. So basically, this incident that happened just 2 months ago, it just shows you that these people are trying to push us towards slavery again. I mean, it doesn't matter that, the DIG operations suddenly took notice of the incident. He had no choice but to do that. If he couldn't have even done that after the whole world was making noise, once the video was released, and once every, then you know what, then he could have incited a wide, a citywide protest, maybe even a nationwide protest, because of this stupid sort of an act, which you're trying to tell us that the foreigners are superior to us. Are you serious? This is our country. Okay, this is our country. This is supposed to be a sovereign state. You may have sold it, underhandedly. You may have sold it, but we haven't seen any contract signed. And you need to either out and openly tell us that we no longer are a sovereign state. But if you're pretending, and if you're telling us that we are still a sovereign state, you better act like it. You better act like it, you sobs. I mean, how can you even allow such an incident to happen? And again, these are incidents that nobody would have ever dared do in the past, no matter how bad your government was, no matter. But these same people, and these are the same people who were in your government years ago, and they didn't dare do these things openly. And why are they doing it openly now? Food for thought, just food for thought. Why are they doing it openly now? Because America has openly taken over your country, and so your government is openly now slaves to a foreign state. And this is why your citizens are being treated like slaves. And again, I would say it's because we allowed them to hijack our country 70 years ago, and we didn't do anything. And this is why now they're so bold and brazen enough to upend our whole constitution, to upend our whole legislative structure, to upend our whole political structure, and to just seat their asses down on the chairs in order to tell us that, oh, you know what, we have sold you. We have sold you to another country, and now those are our masters, and you are their slaves. So, you really need to think about these things when you see these incidents unfold, when you see that foreign guests of the government are allowed to open fire on citizens. I mean, what are you trying to tell them, foreign guests over here? I mean, it reminds me of the time when the Americans had sent their secret operatives. Black Forest, were they called Black Forest, or were they called Black Fort? I don't even want to remember their bloody names. All I remember is that those people, they came, they thought that nobody knew who they were. Everybody knew who they were. You come and you rent out a house, and then you transform it into a freaking fort, and you think nobody's going to know who the frack you are? Seriously? Having the multitude of American spies here, who were basically, you can't even call them spies, they were basically mercenaries. To have American mercenaries here in Pakistan moving around. And again, it was only when when Imran Khan's government came, that these people were put back in their place. And then, when, and that is again, you see, that is again why so many people have a problem with Imran Khan. He actually worked for the Pakistani national interest. Okay, unlike everybody else, he was not a sellout. Unlike everybody else, he was a true patriot. Unlike everybody else, he was not a politician, but he was an actual leader, and he was actually somebody who wanted to do something, to make a concrete change, to ensure that the sovereignty of Pakistan is never in danger. And that is why the American senators had a problem with him. And I then, in that meeting, with which they sat down and they said that, oh, if he actually made prime minister of Pakistan, he would become Jinnah part 2, and that would be a huge problem for the American interests. Yeah. Well, you know what, as I said, our people cannot call themselves patriots because they have really done nothing over the 70 years. They've just sat on their asses and hoped for somebody else to come and get the whole table laid out for them, and where they could just sit and eat. They don't want to be involved in the cooking. They don't want to be involved in the prep. They don't want to even be involved in the table setting. They just want to sit down and eat. Well, such nations don't last. I know, again, people are going to argue with me and say, how dare you say this to us? There's so many of us right now protesting and all. But no, you see, where it counts, we're not doing what we need to do. Okay, we are not going and dragging these people out of their offices and out of the parliament and out of their military headquarters, and we're not arresting them. We're not doing something about it. We're not attacking them. We're not I'm sorry, this is the only way you can get rid of them. Again, I will say it. 70 years you people have used your so-called hypocritically peaceful means of enduring them, and what have you got? You've got to this point where they have literally now sold you out, where foreigners are going to come and act as if you're under the British Raj, and that they're the British people ruling you. This is what you're giving way to. It's going to get worse, is what I'm trying to say. It's going to get worse. So think about that while you're at it. This is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.